Hello Gnomes parents and students, it's Mr. H here for your Friday update to see what happened here on team this week and to kind of preview what's going to happen next week. It was a crazy day here on the Gnomes team as we tried in social studies to survive. We talked a little bit about how people migrated around the planet, specifically how they got to the Western world, and how they were able to survive on these many generations of migration. We talked about how they worked together in tribals and family groups. We talked about how they needed to find shelter and food and water. And so with that, we decided today would be a survival day, and we attempted to survive. Now, that survival took the form of a simulation where we went outside and we went through 3 different groupings to see if we could survive. The first, of course, most important thing in survival is water. So we had a water challenge where the students had to carry water using various tools. Some of them got lucky and got big cups like this to carry the water. Some students got a little bit more unlucky with the small little teaspoons, and we even had one group that was unfortunately left with the littlest of little. So we talked a little bit about how luck of the draw. They had to fill up a cup to a fill line. We talked about how some kids got big cups, a little bit more hard, a little bit further away from the resource. And some kids got smaller cups. Once they were done with river, they had to build a shelter. They were given a piece of paper. They were given a paper or a clothespin and a couple of popsicle sticks, and they had to form some sort of contraption that would be deemed shelter. Then, of course, they had to find food. They were given this bingo sheet, and they had to go out into the grass and find the different noodles that were hiding out there. There were green noodles and orange noodles and regular shaped colored noodles that they then covered up their little animals here on this bingo sheet, and if they could find all of the food, if they could finish the water, if they could build their shelter, they survived. It was a kind of fun challenge, and the kids had a good time doing these activities. There were some interesting conversations afterwards. We had some students who died, could not get that assignment done. We had some students who started wars over materials. They fought for the noodles. We had some groups that were stealing other people's noodles. We had some groups who say, it's not fair, my cup's bigger than everyone else's cup. So we had lots of interesting conversations about allocation of resources, protecting your own resources, all kinds of interesting conversations about how we get the things that we have. Okay? Now, at the end of that activity, students were to fill out the bottom half of this sheet. Most students finished most of it in class. A few of them decided to take it home to finish it over the weekend at home. So be looking for this sheet. Ask your students about this boot camp survival sheet. If they finished it in class, they might have turned it in, but a few people did. We do have a few people that missed it. Look, we've got someone who was in the zombie unicorns group who left it here at school. So I'll put this on the website, so if you need to print off another copy, you certainly can. Earlier in the week, we talked about Otzi the Iceman, and we did this activity with vocabulary, which you might have seen. It was due today. And some of the students turned it in early, and I was really kind of unhappy with the level of attention that they gave this activity. I had lots of really smart kids get low grades because I just don't think were paying very close attention. They were just putting words in where it was. One of the words was acupuncture, and they put that it was an intestinal stomach parasite. When it talks about, several parallel lines on the ankles, some have argued that tattooing may have been some sort of acupuncture. I just don't think they put a lot of effort into that. So that'll be a lesson on Monday that we talk about putting best efforts into work. Next week, we're going to continue our conversation about the Western Americas as we start to talk about Kennewick Man, who's one of the very first finds, actually not the very first, but one of the early finds out in Oregon, and how that kind of changed how long ago we think people came to this kind of western part of the world. So we're going to do another kind of challenging reading and some videos about Kennewick Man. So that's what we've been doing, what we're going to be doing in the future, so hopefully everything goes well and you all have a good weekend. Bye-bye.